Hi there, I'm Mark and welcome to my channel. This is a reply to a tag from the wonderful Meg at Books Off the Beaten Path, who tagged me back in October. It's now December the 1st. Apologise, Meg, it took some time. I did say I would reply and here it is. And I think the tag is called Extinction and Evolution tag. There's actually 4 questions and this might be slightly odd because I've only been going literally 4 months, but here we go. Before I get going, this is probably about the 3rd time I've attempted to say this. Question 1. Extinction. Are there things you used to do on your channel you no longer do? The style of the thumbs definitely have changed countless times, and I'll probably change them again in the future. I like the current style of the thumbs. It's difficult, isn't it? For myself, I don't want my face shown with the book, but I started showing myself with the book, so I would do thumbs like this. And that's all well and good, and I have no problem with anybody doing that. I'm not saying that's wrong, but for myself, that's the star, not myself. With the rambles, of course, going around places, the star is the places I visit, and therefore I just wanted to focus on those. So I've definitely changed the style of the thumbs, that's one thing. And question 2, which is linked, adaptation. What things have you done on your channel or as a result of BookTube you never thought you would do? Tags. And currently, as I'm filming, I'm starting to, on a regular basis as part of the details for each video, say these are the kind of people you should follow and similar. My grandson just walked by. Hello.
Hello.
He's going to say hello. Come here. And of course, my grandson. Hey, up there, look. Wave. He's already been on one of the programs. We're going to do another one together. More Broom's Cookbook. Oh, that's another thing I think I've changed. My camera here, when I'm out and about, and the same when I'm on the computer here, what you see on the screen isn't where the camera is. So I tend to look that way when I should be looking there. That's changed. And that's the hardest thing, apart from the editing and seeing yourself, thinking, oh, I'm getting older every day. It's focusing on the camera. So tags is one thing, and the community. And also, I think what I thought I'd never do was focus my thoughts on books more. It's amazing how when I press the button to do this channel, apart from the fact that in one project elsewhere I'm focusing on the text, it really does. So books I've read before, and I'm looking at a couple of books here. So as I'm recording, the next video up, which no doubt is in the past now, is this one, the first one on A Room of One's Own. So how do you talk about a book of one's own? Well, I could just stand here and just talk about it, but there's so much detail in here, and I thought I'd do one about Afrabain and how, according to Virginia Woolf, things changed. So it's the depth I'm going into the books rather than just reading it and just moving on. The same will be with this one when I get to it, Centennial. Huge book. So much detail in here, so much historical detail as well. That's changed. That's definitely what I've done. Also, connecting with people. It's supporting each other and helping each other that way. So that's great. Question 3, evolution. How has BookTube changed you, and what do you aspire for your channel in the future? It's changed myself in pushing the button and agreeing to show my face to camera. I have a face for radio. That's changed. It's changed the way I read, and I did do a video on that. I've always been a slow reader. Funnily enough, it's made me slower and appreciate it more. Love it, love it, love it. And I've been mulling this over, thinking of doing a video for it, and I may still do this, but I'll talk about it here. I've come across this, here it is. This is wonderful. Saw my notes falling out. I'll start again. This is wonderful. Philosophy Shorts. And from this I did one video earlier about Are We Brains in a Vat? Another one is about You Are What You Read. That's coming up. I studied philosophy at university, and I would have studied epistemology, how we gain knowledge, and half of it's forgotten. So that was good. But there's a thing in here that has struck me to the core. And you watch, I won't be able to find it now. This one. What is epistemic vice? So it's really to do with virtue ethics. Look in the camera. It's really to do with virtue ethics. So epistemic virtue is open-mindedness, curiosity, and willing to engage specifically in a narrative that you don't share, or a viewpoint that's not necessarily your own. The opposite to that are vices, and they are vice. Call the vice squad. So epistemic vice is being closed-minded, not curious, and not willing to engage in a dialogue or a narrative that is opposed to yourself. And according to the philosophy of that, the dangers is that it leads to gullibility. You're easily misled because you're not curious, and it could make you obviously intractable to annoying. And it could also mean that you're prone to indoctrination, because somebody is going to deliberately misinform you because you're not asking questions, you're not curious. Why is that? Which sounds more like a political thing and a statement of modern life. How has that to do with booktube? Well, it's because up until now, I was not really interested in looking at something like Jane Austen. I tried it before and I just put it down probably after about 10, 15 pages. My daughter loves Jane Austen. Not wanting to engage with it is epistemic vice, according to the theory. So I've got to work on, and because it's a thing I'm doing with booktube, I've got to work on and accept and really approach such books with delight, because it's a virtue to do so. It's good for you. It's good for the soul. It's good for you as a person. So, therefore, in 2025, it's going to be a book or a collection that I will start reading. And lo and behold, when I went out today and found myself a copy of DC Comics, which is now a video in the past, I've just recorded it. When I got that, down below was the box set collection of all of Jane Austen's works. I think the universe is telling me something. So that's definitely something I've changed and will change going into the future. I'm not going to say, no, I don't care for that genre. No, I don't like that. I don't like this. Because that's a vice. Epistemic vice. So that's how the channel going forward is going to, well, it probably already has changed, but I aspire to. In other words, be more open to books that in the past I would not have read. Question 4, impart your words of wisdom to all the fledgling booktubers out there. I'm the one who is seeking wisdom right now. I'm not sure I've got anything to give. I could probably give more to do with writing, but that's about it, but not about booktube. There are booktubers out there that literally started at the same time I started, and they've already got 8,000 subscribers. They're the ones who should be giving advice, perhaps. If I was to give any advice, it's probably bad advice, obviously. Because look at the numbers that I have. It's only in the 200s as of recording. Be yourself. What was it Oscar Wilde said? He said, don't try and be somebody else, they're already taken. So be yourself. If you get up in the morning and you're itching to read a start a book, that's the book you should talk about and read. Don't do it for numbers. Someone said once on a video, it's got nothing to do with booktube, but they said, do you want fans or do you want thinkers? I know which one I want. I would like to think there's quite a lot of thinkers, but that's what I want. Do it because you are engaging with like-minded people. Perhaps getting your tribe. Although interesting with that word tribe, I heard Ted Red Instead mention it, and he did a little short talking about it. What does tribe mean? It said Ted Red Instead. I forget what the B and E stand for. It's very clever, Ted. You could be the chief of the tribe. It's not a problem. I'd be a tribe member. I think because I've got to be careful. My family read, my wife and my daughter especially. They're big readers. My wife teaches English as a subject at senior school. She's more into poetry than myself, and blah, blah, blah. But I've always felt that the books that I've been attracted, I'm the only one, generally. There's not many people in the local area that will do the kind of books that I like, or I found, or I haven't found them. So to come onto BookTube and then reach out and then talk to people of like-minded aspirations and interests, that's fantastic. So do that. That's my wisdom. Do BookTube to connect with people. And I think go into it understanding it's instantly a YouTube community for some. Some will do the thumbnails to appeal to a great audience. I myself can't do the Edvard Munch thumbnail, just can't do that. But it appeals, it gets people attention, people by people. So do that if that is for you. And whatever comes about, you've manifested that. Well done, fantastic. It seems, for some people it could be a slow burn. But really we're doing this for our love of words, aren't we, and love of books. So if you've got that itch, do it. It's important. And forgive me, I did write down some pointers, but mainly for writing. So I'll just say them here and adapt them to a YouTuber. So I'm going to start afresh now. Forget everything I've just said. And if this is not interesting to you, just skip to the end now. Thanks for listening. But if you carry on, then you're interested to hear. I think the first question to ask is booktubing YouTubing for me? I think we see a lot of people doing it, but it's not necessarily really for everybody. So we are born with 7 ways in which we can show our intelligence. It could be movement, so dance, sport. It could be art. It could be introspection, interpersonal. You're good at writing your own thoughts down to paper in a diary, or interpersonal, whatever. Maths and English is only 2, which we give perhaps too much focus on in schools. I think Ken Robinson, an old English professor of English, said we just teach everybody from the neck up. And there's good things and bad things for that. But the 7 intelligences, reading is one of them, English or language. But it may not be for everyone. There's certain things I'd love to do, but I can't, so I wouldn't do them. But I do like talking about books and, as it turns out, language. So it's for myself. And if it's for you, then do it. It's important. That's the first thing. Because I've said here, if you've got anything to say it because it is important. If you're itching to say certain things about books, you wake up in the morning, your head's up busy all night, and you think, oh, right, I know I've got to go to work, but I keep thinking about that book. Do a BookTube channel. Obviously, the universe wants you to do it. Also, and I think this is important, and we all have to remind ourselves of this, believe that you can do it. I came across the most powerful little piece of artwork I've ever seen recently, well, within the last 2 years, on holiday in the South Island of New Zealand. And it wasn't the last time I went when I did all those filming. And it was a little square, black, and it had the word doubt in white letters, D-O-U-B-T. But U-B-T had a cross through it. So it's just the word do. In other words, don't doubt, do. Believe that you can. Talk for you. Don't talk for somebody you think is going to be interested in what you have to say. Because you should be talking about what gives you energy, the kind of books that you want to talk about. Even though there may be very little others out there that are interested. They may find you eventually. It seems that YouTube is not geared up to get people recognised very quickly. It takes time. You need to shout from the rooftops a few nights in succession, so to speak. But if you have something to say and you want to say it personally, yeah, you can rinse and repeat like others. But do it differently. Approach it differently. Approach it from a different angle. Say something that no one said before, in a manner in which no one said it before. Dare to be different. I used to say to students going into their exams, don't worry about success, dare to fail. You've got to say certain things, absolutely, in order that they want it. But don't think, oh, I've got to conform to this and this and this. Increasingly, you do have to. But generally, try not to be like everybody else. You're unique. Be yourself. I think doubt, fear, ego is what gets in the way. Paul Atreides says fear is the mind killer. Well, for YouTubers and writers, it's ego. I'm not getting enough subscribers. I'm not getting enough views. No one's commenting. That's ego. And it will kill your desire to do YouTube. Also, and this is perhaps a bit arrogant to say so, I am aware of that. I wrote this down. I'm not sure I should say it now, but it's like, don't make it hard. Talking to a camera shouldn't be difficult. We talk generally anyway. Just talk. Laurence Olivier, when he was interviewed about how do you act, he said, just say the words, darling. With reading, read what you can, but don't go mad. I don't think you get points, extra points, for reading quickly or getting to... There's no line you have to get to before anybody else. And there's a lot of people who seem to suffer from burnout. If you're not reading what you want to read, or should be reading, because it's inside you, you're going to get burnout. But look, we're not monkeys on a music thing. There's not someone grinding the music. So it's down to us as proprietors of our channels to read what we want and at the speed we want to. And if you need to go and take a break, do so. And finally, you cannot fail. You succeed just by trying. I like to think I can do that, although people say you're very trying. So I said, yes, thank you very much, I am. Try, and try again. And that's the only wisdom I can give. Perhaps I need to start listening to my own wisdom now and then, but that's a different story. We're not in competition with each other. We're adding different flavours to a meal. We are that little bit different because. And if we do that, we'll all have good peace of mind and we'll all be happy to continue. And I think, I didn't write this down, but I'm aware of conversation, I won't say who with, but I've had conversations with one or two YouTubers who have faced immense difficulties, personal difficulties, pressures, stress, and whatever. We all do. We can give this persona to the camera that we're having a happy life and we're all great, but we're not. That's not human. We are human beings, and therefore what I personally try to do, and I would recommend others, is talk about yourself, talk about your day, talk about the struggles that you have. You may not get the books, you don't get the ideas, whatever, because that's, for myself, is what it really interests me. I'm not interested in saying I like the look of a book, I like the writer, and yeah, this is because it's like number one on the list. If it resonates with you internally in your soul, that's what you should be talking about, and share it. Why you feel the way you do, and blah blah blah. I know I've talked a lot about this point 4, so I apologise. I'm going to stop there. I think I need to now. And thank you for listening if you got this far, and especially thank you to Meg. Wonderful. And I also love the fact that now she's actually said she wants to show more out and about as well, that movement around the house. So looking forward to that as well, Meg. Thank you very much. If you have got this far and you have not liked, please do so. It does help with this algorithm. And also subscribe. It's free, and it does help all the little channels out there such as myself. So thank you very much, and ta-ta for now.